How many of you have been to the Broad Circle Philanthropy event before? Okay, so we have a lot of new people to this event. And how many of you have never been to a Broad Circle event before? Oh, yay! We got some new converts. That's fantastic. That's great. Well, you know, I think anyone who knows me knows that I have a real passion and love for money. So it's interesting that I would focus so much every year and have such a love and passion for this particular event. But as many of you have heard me say before, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do with your money that you earn, is to give it to someone who doesn't have the power to earn. So that's my first thought that I wanted to share with you. And the second is that I want to encourage you to give of your time and money, selfishly give of your time and money, because you never know how it will pay you back in the end or going forward. And I want to bring up an example of that I think is really powerful. A woman who spoke at one of our previous events, a powerful lawyer at Latham & Watkins, didn't have a whole lot of time. Most of us don't have time to do much for charity or philanthropy, but she dedicated herself to serving on a nonprofit board. She served on the board of the police commission. Does anybody know who that woman is? She's here today.
Edith Perez.
Edith, yes. She's back there. Edith, do you want to raise your hand high and high? Yes. Well, Edith served on the board of the police commission, and she met people who helped her find her way to her first corporate board seat. So, again, I come back to that thought. Give of your time, give selfishly of your time and money, and you never know how it will pay you back. And my third thought is to think about aligning your life, your business life, your money-making life, in a way where you're creating value, and take that perspective on your philanthropy as well. And I think if we all do that, we will really be in a stronger position in our business life and in our community here in Los Angeles. We came upon the topic of collaborative philanthropy this year because we have had our philanthropy event focused on self-made women who are engaged in philanthropy. We had a panel of some of the largest philanthropists in Los Angeles another year. We had a panel of some of the executive directors of the largest endowments and foundations in Los Angeles another year. And we wanted to focus this year on the topic of collaborative philanthropy as another powerful way that women could give. And I want to now thank Cheryl Calhoun and CBIZ Mayor Hoffman and McCann. They have been the corporate sponsor of the Broad Circle Philanthropy event really since the start. They have been a huge supporter of Broad Circle. Without the work and contributions of CBIZ Mayor Hoffman and McCann, Broad Circle would be in serious financial trouble. So as an organization that's all about money and power, I want to thank Cheryl and CBIZ Mayor Hoffman and McCann. They're tremendously dedicated to women's leadership, and Cheryl has played that out in her role at CBIZ. Cheryl, would you like to come up and say a few words, or will someone else do that?
Actually, CBIZ is honored to be a part of Broad Circle and certainly to be a part of this philanthropy event. We're the 8th largest CPA firm in the country. We are definitely about money. There you are, Kelly. I wanted Kelly to do this. But Kelly's my partner. She's the audit partner in our Los Angeles office. I'm a tax partner. but literally we are focused on, I sit on the National Executive Board of our Women's Advantage program, and that program is about women helping women succeed in business. But we also have a very real community service purpose, and that's not just with our Women's Advantage program, it's throughout CBIZ. We are focused on community service. We believe that that's important, that the business community partner with their community at large to make sure that, as Daria said, those who are not able or powerful, who cannot generate their own revenue, that we hold them up, that we have a commitment and we have a responsibility to do that. And I welcome you and thank you for being here.
And with that, I'd like to bring up Jocelyn Tetel. Jocelyn has been the producer and the thinker and the thought leader for this philanthropy event for the last 3 years. She is the Director of Development at the Skirball Cultural Center. Thank you, Jocelyn.
So thank you very much, Daria. And welcome to the Broad Circle Power of Collaborative Philanthropy, and our annual event about philanthropy. Philanthropy can be broadly defined. From the very impoverished family that goes to church every week and makes sure to tithe the few dollars that they have, to the recent widow who gives millions from the inheritance left behind by her deceased husband. Each took thought and each took care, and they were making a strategic decision about their money and how to help those in need. French political thinker and historian Alexis de Tocqueville captured the essence of American philanthropy, and it was in 1935 when he said, "I must say that I've seen Americans make a great deal of real sacrifices to the public welfare, and I've noticed 100 instances in which they hardly ever fail to lend a faithful support to one another." Women are discovering this power of large direct donations, and they're experiencing the tremendous impact it can have, especially when many women band together to make a larger donation. So many of you who work in business, you understand the power of mass purchasing, and that's really the basic principle of collaborative giving. And today we're going to hear about a couple models of this that have been applied very successfully right here in Los Angeles. Now, I wake up every day thinking about fundraising and philanthropy. It is the curse of my career, but I'm quite blessed. I consider it to be a privilege to be the Vice President of Advancement at the Skirball Cultural Center. And our mission is steeped in the Jewish values of freedom, democracy, social justice, and education. And they're universal values that I care deeply about, and they transcend all borders. It's the time of year when many are considering their year-end giving, and possibly some of you will want to support the Everychild Foundation and the Women's Foundation of California that you'll learn a little bit more about today. And possibly those of you in the audience who are newer to philanthropy, or maybe you're younger, you'll be inspired to make your first philanthropic contribution ever. Those of you who are more experienced philanthropists, maybe today you'll be inspired to write your biggest check ever, and you'll be eligible to join the Women Moving Millions organization. Daria and I would love to know what actions you take after today, and we'd love to hear about those. So our panel is being moderated by my dear fellow Broad Circle Advisory Board member Cheryl, who you've already met. And she, again, is the Managing Director of the Tax and Business Unit at CBIZ, and we're so grateful for her support here at Broad Circle. So it's a pleasure to introduce you again to Cheryl and to bring her to the podium, along with our speakers for the panel. And thank you so much for being here.
She is the President and CEO of the Women's Foundation of California. Next to her is Jacqueline Castor. She is the founder and president of Everychild Foundation. And last but not least, we have Gael Sylvia Pullen, who is CEO of Sylvia Global and a member of Women Moving Millions. So why don't we start with you?
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me here today, Daria, and the advisory board at Broad Circle. Appreciate the invitation. I bring greetings from our leadership in our community at WML, Women Moving Millions, along with Sylvia Global Media and our team. I did leave with, which is probably the biggest business card you've ever received. Your chair contact information about Sylvia Global, how to reach me, and also about Women Moving Million. You can learn more from this website as well. Women Moving Millions is an organization of women who have committed $1 million plus to women designated exclusively to women and girls, and to make unprecedented change in big, bold giving.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Jacobs-Caster, and I'm the founder and president of the Everychild Foundation. I have left a newsletter out at each of your places with some information. Everything you want to know is in there, and it will also lead you to our website, which has a lot more information. And Everychild is a group of over 200 women in Los Angeles that I started 13 years ago. Each woman gives $5,000 a year. We pool the money and we pick one local children's cause in Los Angeles with a dream project that we make a reality with this single targeted $1 million grant. And as a result, we have given over $10.5 million in targeted grants since we started, served over 500,000 children locally, and we have about 12 spin-off groups, which I'll tell you more about.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you to Broad Circle for the invitation. It's really great to be here with you today and to see many familiar faces. The Women's Foundation of California is a 35-year-old public charity. We're like a community foundation, or rather than a geographic definition of who we are, like the California Community Foundation. We are defined by the population that we serve, so thus the Women's Foundation of California. We're the product now of a merger that happened about 8 years ago. Some of you probably are familiar with what was the Los Angeles Women's Foundation. We merged two foundations, the foundation that was in Northern California, simply called the Women's Foundation, and the Los Angeles Women's Foundation to become the Women's Foundation of California. We exist for two purposes. One is to resource and strengthen organizations in the state of California who are serving low-income women and their families. We do this through strategies of grant making and also through policy advocacy. We run an institute in Sacramento called the Women's Policy Institute. It's a year-long fellowship program that's really aimed at shifting policies that impact the lives of women. And our second purpose is really to be there for women who want to step into their own philanthropy.
Let's talk some more about that, and I want each of you to talk about why you think it's unique to bring women together in this way, and why is collaborative philanthropy particularly relevant to women. Start with you, Jacqueline.
Oh, okay. Well, I know there are a couple of men in the room here, so no offense to you. But I do think, in general, that women are more willing to put their egos aside and work as a team and not worry about who gets the credit. And I have found that in our organization, where we have to build consensus because we all together select one grant that we make collaboratively with $1 million, and we start out with about 28 to 30 some odd proposals each year, and we have a group of about 20 women on the grant screening board who narrows it down to 2 finalists that the whole membership votes on.
So a very global worldview is a part of my makeup. It's in my DNA, it's in my bloodstream, in my perspective. And as a candy striper at Pomona Valley Hospital in the 7th grade, and also younger, when my parents would take us to the, I can say this now because I'm back in California and people know what I'm talking about. When I lived in Cleveland for 12 years and talked about this, everybody just looked at me, they didn't know what I was talking about. But they would take us to the Huntington Library and to the Opry, to local museums here. And in the hospital, I'd see these gold-framed images of white men. And they're usually very stern, images. And I always wondered who they were, and I seem to understand why they would leave the gifts that others could benefit from in the community. that they may never touch or see or know personally, but I never understood how they did it